He's in. He's out. He shakes it all about David Moyes. David Moyes. It doesn't matter what day you are watching this video on, because this video will become relevant no matter what day you are watching it on. If you're watching it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this week or next week or the week before last or probably the week after next, this situation will not end until the club speak out. And the situation we're talking about is David Moyes. Now, I've titled the show a Moyes U-turn, but what does that mean? But before we get on to that, if you have not already, then check out the description below from our fantastic new sponsors. Get yourself involved with this. The West Ham United home shirt by Alloy Collectors. 3D metal shirt. What a collection. Haven't opened it yet. It's going to the little man Freddie. But what I can tell you is, if you purchase these, I think you will have a little bit of an obsession, because you can then tailor the players on the back. You can have different numbers, different names, and look, and I can picture the collection in one area of your house. The more you get, the more you will want to keep collecting them and have all the different players. So make sure you do go to the Alloy Collectors website. I'll give you the link in the description. But also, when you're there and you're about to make a purchase, are you ready for this? WH9N25 gets you 25% off. So put in WHN25. That will get you an exclusive 25% off your purchase of 3D metal shirt West Ham. Make sure you get yourself involved. Anyway, let's get on to the West Ham show for today. And that is the fact that maybe Sullivan, maybe the owners of West Ham are making a U-turn with regards to David Moyes. What does that mean? Is the U-turn that they've decided to stick with David Moyes, or is the U-turn that they've decided to potentially not renew his contract? Now, what we know, these are some facts out on the table. David Moyes himself said several weeks ago there is an offer on the table and he'll wait till the end of the season to decide what he's going to do. That's what we know. So if you take that as kosher, then that is exactly what will happen. If he hasn't decided what to do, the club are more than entitled to start looking at other options and are doing their due diligence on other options. Does that run the risk for David Moyes staying at the club? Absolutely, because West Ham could go out there and start going, well, this is what we think we want. This is the future we want to do. Or the other option is we simply will not renew his contract at the end of the summer. We've pulled the offer and we are looking at other options. Either way, I think West Ham are looking at different coaches, different solutions. Should or should not David Moyes stay? I don't think they know, if I'm being really honest with you. And what would concern me is that even David Moyes doesn't know. And if David Moyes doesn't know at this stage of his career whether or not he wants to take a new contract at West Ham, then it's inevitable then he's going to go, because it doesn't make sense to keep someone who's unsure about his position. And to speak out like he did and say, I've not decided yet, doesn't let West Ham future proof, doesn't plan for the future. It doesn't allow us to plan for the future. That's what starts to make me think that we are looking for a new manager. The concern I've got with regards to the whole process is, again, I'll repeat myself, is the people in charge at the club. Now, if they have offered him a contract extension, is it a gentleman's agreement? Are they going to go back in their gentleman's agreement? And apparently they were ready to offer him a supposed 2-year extension to his deal that he currently had. But it seems to be that maybe talks have stalled over that. Not just the fact that it's growing unrest amongst the fans, but I think when you look at West Ham as a whole, from players we've brought in to the potential rebuild that we've got, to players not signing new contracts, to the average age of the squad, I think there's so many factors that you need to take into consideration with regards to what the next step West Ham will do. I don't think no matter what David Moyes does, he will struggle and will always struggle to win over fans. It seems to be something that's followed him through his whole career. I think the only fan base that massively have ever appreciated him, within all due respect and with all reason, is probably Everton. Because I think they've seen the benefits of the doubt when they had him. That also doesn't mean that all of the Everton fans were in love with him, because they weren't. That doesn't also mean that all the West Ham fans are in love with him, because they're not. But we can all agree on something, that he has brought something to the club. And what we're scared of is that dramatic fall off a cliff. I hope we don't fall off that cliff. I don't think we will. I think as long as we do the right recruitment, the right process, then we'll get all the things and all the things aligned that we need to get aligned. But the one thing for sure is that we're hearing, supposedly according to reports, that the owners are considering not offering him a new contract. And their U-turn has been made. And he is now expected to leave the club when his contract expires at the end of the season. It's been difficult past couple of months as a West Ham fan. Some say it's been a difficult couple of seasons. I can outweigh the European victory over the Premier League form last season. I could have forgiven some of the Premier League form this season should we have advanced further in other cup competitions. But it has kind of dwindled out of place. David Moyes has a couple of more games to try and turn around what this season has become. It's not been a disaster. It's just not been great. And when you lack strength and depth, that becomes a big issue. We've got games against Man City, Chelsea to come to our head. Luton Town, massive games where West Ham can get results, and we need results in order for us to try and even remotely consider qualifying for Europe for the 4th consecutive season. And that's something we have to be respectful for. I can respect David Moyes for taking us so far. I do think it's time for him to go, but I will respect him for what he's brought to the club, whether people agree with me or not. But it does look like he has heading out the door, in my humble opinion. The issue you've got here is, don't believe everything you hear out on the mainstream media. Even don't believe everything you hear here on the West Ham network, because what we say at the West Ham network is, reports are suggesting, doesn't mean that we are, because we're not and don't want to be ITKs. Because it puts, you're putting your name on a pedestal there, and it's not what we want to achieve. But what it does mean is we'll report the news and what is happening. We're led to believe that Amarim came over and spoke to the owners. Again, doing the due diligence. Are they doing anything wrong? Probably not. Did he do something wrong to Sporting Lisbon? Yeah, because if that was your boss, you wouldn't be happy. But what does it mean for the future of West Ham? What we do know is this saga will go on for the next few weeks. So be prepared for a constant barrage of will he or won't he? Should he or should he not? Who knows? Take it easy. Come on, you.